Welcome to Fridays with Tab and Chance. I am Tabitha Brown, and this is my husband.
I'm Chance, what's up?
Bring the beat in.
Fridays, Fridays with Tab and Chance.
Ba-dum, bump, bump.
Fridays with Tab and Chance. That probably was one of the best openings we had where you had your harmonies right and everything. I need you to, wherever you was at right there, that's where you need to stay. Did you hear me? That's where I need you to be, right there.
When people try to give you a little jab compliment, it ain't really a compliment, it's really a
It's called an
jab.
underhanded. It's called an underhanded.
And a jab.
Nah.
Ignore them, honey.
I
All
was
you got to do
telling
is
you.
ignore them. That's it.
That wasn't even a compliment, that was just direction. When you gotta learn how to take direction from, producers and
Oh, my get back spirit. Sometimes she tries to jump out of me. I've worked really hard on my get back spirit, not
you
getting
don't
back.
take direction well.
You know what? I bet you I won't take direction well anymore. Remember you said that. Today's episode is about, well, first of all, let's talk about how we got this topic.
I know.
We were coming
Boy.
back from Houston at the airport, and we go in to the plane to, they scan our ticket. And so the girl at the counter, she was like, I've been instructed to hold the plane.
I thought she was joking.
Right. From one of the, our employees wants to, she has something that she needs to, like, give you and meet you or something. I was like, oh, okay. Like, we thought it was a joke. And we get on the plane,
No, you got no.
What?
So we switched seats.
Oh,
So
yeah, we did
She
switch.
could sit with Quest.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in front of them with, beside a stranger. And because that's important to
Yeah.
how it all happened. So,
I didn't even realize you had got up.
yeah, they came and got me.
Yeah, they came and got
And my man wasn't smiling or nothing. He just came and he was like, sir, I
I
need
thought
you
he
to...
went to the bathroom when I
No,
looked up.
the
He
dude-
was coming from back outside of the plane. I was like,
Yeah,
what are you doing?
my man, see, they could have taken me and you wouldn't even know. I could have been gone.
Man, baby,
Hey, look, the dude
I
came,
would've
stood
knew
over
back.
there, and he was like, excuse me, sir, I need you to come with me. And I'm like, what you need me for? Right? And pulls me out, and the door opens back up to the plane. They literally open the door back up. And two ladies are standing off the plane, and they like, Mr. Brown, we need you to step off. And I'm like, I ain't stepping off. I ain't did nothing. What y'all want with me? And they kind of just looking at me, and then he tells me, no, you can step off. And I'm like, nah, player, y'all ain't going nowhere without me. My wife and my son is on this plane. And then that's when she kind of, and she wasn't even, they weren't even joking, and then they just kind of looking at me. And she says, Chance, I wanted to give this to Tab. And I'm like, oh, man, I'm completely lost that this is a fan. That scared me to death. Like, man, I ain't getting off this plane.
And he came back on the plane and was like, hey, babe, come
Hey,
here. And I
look,
was
man,
like,
these people need this.
what are you doing? I thought she was in the bathroom.
I could have been gone. They could have had me in cuffs, taking me out, man.
Babe,
You didn't even think nothing about
you
your
didn't
boy.
even feel it was a threat.
Oh,
You
yeah, I
didn't say
did.
nothing to me when you got
Man, I
up.
gotta keep my cool. I don't want to look guilty if something's going on. I ain't trying to be
Babe,
panicking.
ain't you living right?
Yeah.
So why are you going
It's a whole lot of people that's been living right and still been wrongly convicted. A whole lot of people.
So anyway, I step out there and sweet lady, we don't have the car, it's upstairs, but she had wrote a note, and also, encouraging us because we were visiting Choice and we had just announced that Choice had moved. And
Yeah.
so she was like, for a topic for Fridays with Tab and Chance, could y'all please do an episode about how it feels, and how you deal with your children when they leave the nest, right? being like an empty nester, or we're not necessarily empty nesters because we still have one, but just how that feels, when your child leaves home and, moves away, especially to another state. And I said, you know what? I guess that's a pretty good topic. So let's talk about it. Chance didn't care. So listen, first of all,
I do care. I do care, and I did care.
Choice moved last year, right? So this marks 1 year that she's been out of the house. She moved out last year, 4 minutes from here. She had an apartment, like literally,
Walking
from
distance.
upstairs. I could look down there and see it, right? Walking distance from here. And at first I was kind of like, oh, I miss being able to just walk in her room and stuff. But she was right down the street. And we talk all the time, every day. And, she'd come over whenever. And so it was an easy adjustment. And so I didn't think, after a year, she turned 22. I didn't think she was really serious about moving because, she had been saying, Mom, I've been thinking about moving to like maybe Atlanta or maybe Houston. Like she had been, I was like, girl, in my mind, like she ain't going nowhere. And then she came back again, was like, I think I'll move to Houston. She went out there a couple times, said she liked it a lot. And I was like, oh, you for real? I did not think it was going to affect me, right? Because I had, she was already not living here. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, okay. But boy, it really affected me.
Yeah, it did.
It hit me hard. And I don't know if it was the thought of I can't get to her quick enough if something happened to my baby, right? Because there's a part of me where I truly, I live by and truly believe, we're all brought here, if God bless you to be a vessel to bring life, they are their own human, right? She don't belong to me. She's my child, but she has a whole life that she has to live outside of being my daughter, right? And same with me, with my parents. They were the vessels that helped bring me to earth, but I don't belong to them. I am their child, but I don't belong to them. I have my own life that I have to live and figure out my own purpose. And so I'm very mindful of that, because we did it. We left home at early ages. And so I've always been very open to understanding that. So I did not think it was going to affect me the way it affected me. It felt like an out-of-body experience for me. I felt like I was just not in control. I just felt like I couldn't control my emotions. I was sad and happy, proud and devastated, all at the same time. And I just had this scared feeling, this nervous anxiety, and I was just trying to be like, man, if I could have called my mama, that's all I kept thinking, man, I really wish I could call my mama, because from a woman's point of view who, had a daughter who left, and she never, ever looked concerned, right? Mama always looked happy and pleased and just, and I know I had my daddy on here a couple weeks ago, and we were talking about, I asked him the same question, how did you just let me go and you didn't seem concerned, with no cell phone, writing letters, using calling cards, calling every now and then on the other side of the world. No social media to check in and be like, oh, let me see what she's looking like, I was just trying to figure out, the feeling and why it was such a heavy thing for me. But it was definitely a very weird transition for me. It's been a month now, or a little over a month. And so I definitely feel better. Of course, we still talk every day. And thank God for FaceTime because I can see her. But I think that that's just, me personally. I know that we have raised her to be independent. Shoot, we named her Choice, right? So that she can make all the choices in the world, like for herself. But it was definitely hard. It's still hard. Like even thinking about it right now, I'm like getting emotional. I just love her. She also I think we had a very tough season when she was in school for many years. And it was very rough. A lot of people don't know it was very tough. And it was during the time of me being sick. It was during the time, she did a lot of acting out. It was just a very stressful time. And after that season of that, we got so close. And I feel like in these last couple of years, we've gotten so close. And I was like, man, it just got so good. And now she gone, and not gone, where I still get to talk to her and all the things, but we would go out, do events and stuff together. And it's just a different feeling. It's like, oh man, but she got to go live her life and discover her own friends and create her own village and, find her own way. So it's almost like I think a selfishness as a mama, like me just wanting to keep her close. And then there's one thing that is always very troubling for me. When my mama was still living, and we had moved to Greensboro. After living in California, we had moved to Greensboro. And, me and Chance were very still newly in love. My mama would call me and be like, go shopping with me. You ride with me to the mall. And I'd be like, no, Mama, me and Chance gonna go do, I want to go with Chance to the movies. So I want to do this with Chance. Like I was so focused on wanting to live my life my way. And then my mama got sick. And I couldn't get those days back. And it's one of those regrets that I have, because I don't have many. So one of my regrets is that, dang, I wish I had said yes more to spending that time with my mama. And so I think sometimes I should try to make up for that with Choice. But that's also not her burden to carry, right? So I think that's also what played a role in it being very hard for me. But I'm happy for her and super excited to just see her become a woman, an independent woman, paying her own bills and, creating her own life and forming her own village. So, but that's my take and how I feel.
The question is, how do you deal with it, right? Mm-hmm. We joke about me not caring, right? I definitely do care, but it's times where you tell the story about your daddy coming to Miami, right? And in the beginning, when I used to hear that story, I didn't put a whole lot of importance. I just feel like, man, I understood it, but it's like, okay, well, he's supposed to do that. He's a dad, right? But when I hear you talk about it now in terms of, being concerned of you can't get to her, I don't have that concern. Because that part of your daddy lives in me. It's not one obstacle that I can think of that can prevent me from getting to my daughter if she needs me. And I honestly believe that. Like, I believe if there's not a flight that can get me there, I got 3 cars out there that I will hop in them without a pair of clothes without, all I
Yeah.
need is my wallet and what I currently have on, and I will hit the road and go with no hesitation. So it makes it easier for me. I don't have that concern. God has blessed us in a way to where a lot of the things that our parents didn't have, we do have. To make it may not be convenient for us to go, but we're capable to go. And then the other thing is this, where you have parent guilt or you have concern for one thing, I had it for something differently. I was extremely hard on Choice in terms of survival when she was growing up. And when we went to her, well, when the discussion came up initially, I was like, that girl ain't going nowhere. I know Choice. She ain't going nowhere. She ain't gonna leave. But I was actually, when it became more of a topic in the house, I did something with intention to see where she was. I tried to catch her off guard with my questioning of why and her preparation for it. And when she gave her answers, and when Tab talks about the hard times, some of the things that where me and Tab would have conflict would be with, not with, see, I was big as a father on survival in the sense that school and stuff of that nature, it did not take precedence. It was more so important to me that you knew who was here to help you, you be truthful with me, and that you have a plan and that you can articulate it. That's big for me, very big for me. And when I intentionally tried to catch her off guard and say, hey, so your mom's telling me you want to move to Houston, what's your plan? She had a plan. She had a plan. And okay, why? And her why and her truth, she didn't hide it. She didn't hide it. Her why was everything that me and her mom explained in our own way when we was 19 years old that we wanted to do. So she's nothing but another version, I'll say this, a better version of me and her mom. And I understood her. I still have the same concerns about her being in a new place, just not to the heights I think that you have. Your experiences and my experiences are different. I actually was proud of her for making that move, knowing, because, don't let me, don't be confused. In this conversation, I welcome the conversation, but when we have a conversation, and she opened the door for me to say how I feel. And I told her, I don't think you're ready, but I'm glad that you believe that you are. I don't think that you are ever quite ready for most journeys. And she agreed and said, Dad, I feel like the only way that I'm gonna get ready is to go out and make certain mistakes. Perfect answer to me. Reassured me that she understands that the whole thing of what I was trying to teach her growing up about life ain't being fair, and you can never expect it to be. You always gotta prepare for obstacles. You gotta have a contingency. You have to have these things in play. And the number one thing that I used to always say, and I still say to all my family members after I tell them I love them, and sometimes before, is to be aware of your surroundings. And she alleviated me even having to say that by telling me about the surroundings. And I knew she did that strategically because she's my daughter. She was telling me about the city of Houston, and it did bring me to a place of comfort. And she welcomed me to come. So I found my comfort and my trust in her, and trust in what we have taught her in those things. I found my pride in her. And the other thing is this, she didn't go to college, right? So yeah. She didn't go to college.
It was a late experience for us.
Yeah.
It's kind of like her leaving to go to college.
And that's how I find peace with it. I know my daughter. I find comfort in knowing that I know her. I know that she is able to survive. And I want her to have what we didn't get to have. I encourage her all the time. I told her while we was in Houston, I think you should every year or every 2 years move to a new city. I honestly do. While you can, before you settle down, make family and do all those things. I just told her, I said, hey, you should go to New York for 2 years, do 2 years in Atlanta, do 2 years, travel the world. Then if you want to go abroad, go abroad. Because in my head, that's life. That's what we tell our kids when we're raising them up, is to live life. So when they start to live it, it's okay to be concerned, but I want to also be able to say, I meant it. I meant it. I meant what I said to you. I'm here to support you. And I'm going to be a part of it, because there's one thing for certain that ain't going to never change. Daddy ain't asking for permission to come and see you. Period. Daddy going to always be daddy. I'm showing up. I'm showing up. And if I need to, I'm showing out. It's just, and I mean that. Like, so there's no place that my daughter will go or can go that I can't show up. So I thank God for that. I thank God for the blessing that is Tab and Chaz. Those are the blessings that I appreciate the most. I find comfort in it and peace in it, to where it's like, okay, I can stop what I'm doing. It's a lot that I won't stop what I'm doing, that takes precedence, but nothing takes precedence over my family. If something happens, if something shows itself that can be threatening or can be harmful, there's nothing on this earth that I'm not retired from that. I'm retired from work, but I ain't retired from that.
The parent duties is until we don't have breath anymore.
Daddy is on deck.
Yeah.
Daddy is on deck. Now, that's just what it is. So I found comfort in it. I'm very, very proud of her for facing the fears, because she expressed it, that she's scared and she thinks that she's unprepared, but the courageous side of being able to say that to your family and be like, I want to try it, Dad. I don't know how it's going to work out.
And she definitely was more prepared than we was.
Yeah.
Especially
at
when
that
we
age,
moved
yeah.
on both times.
Yeah.
She has, we'll say financially, more prepared than both times of us moving across the country.
I think she's financially more prepared, but not struggle more prepared.
Yeah, right. But she needs more life experience.
Yeah.
And that's what she said. Mm-hmm. She wants to get more life experience. And I think that's what is so admirable. Like, I have to admire that in her. And it is a lot like us, but we was out getting life experience, struggling down, okay? She won't have to do that because she has worked for the last few years and saved her money so that she can actually not struggle but make mistakes, figure it out, but still have, her savings and money while she still works,
And because we did.
And because we did, absolutely.
And because we did. That's how I find my peace.
Yeah.
If your question is, how do we deal with it? This is how we deal. This is how I deal with it. This is how I choose to deal with it. I choose to reflect and pull from the things that we went through, and I choose to look at it as a win. And I choose to trust God.
Absolutely.
That we've done what we can. And but the job is not done, right? The job is never done. So
the other thing I think for me, for the real way that you deal with once your child leaves home, and it's hard to do, especially when you've been a hands-on parent, is letting go of knowing everything.
Yeah.
Right? She got to have her own business, and when they're children and they're in the house, anything that's going on is your business, right? It's your job to keep them protected and to know what's happening and who their friends are and all that stuff. But when they become adults and they leave, honey, what they do in life is they have to have their own business, and you can't be all in it.
Can't be in it.
That's also how you be stressing out, worried about what's going on all the time because you all in their business. And so I had to realize and I had a whole year of that with her, living down the street. I can't know everything. You know, I do ask her, I'd be like, can you just give mommy a courtesy text if you're going out or if you're going to travel? We need to know those things so that we know where you are. But, you know, no, I'm not going to know all her friends, and we're not going to know every party that she goes to or any of those things because that's her business, right? My parents didn't know all the stuff that I was doing or all the people that I knew. There comes a certain amount of detachment that has to happen so that you have peace of mind. For me, definitely. So I have peace of mind. But I know that there's things that we absolutely are going to talk about, and we will forever talk about, you know, as a woman to woman now, right? And as friends, but also still as mother-daughter. We have very serious conversations, in-depth conversations about the things that truly matter, right? But letting go of thinking that you got to be in control of what they're doing when they're adults helps kind of take off some of that stress. But you're going to still worry. It's a different level of worry, though. You know, I remember thinking that when you have a baby, that's like the stressful time, you know, because you ain't sleeping at night. You know, you got to do everything. They're 100% dependent on you as babies. That's actually the easy time. That's actually the best, easiest time when they're babies. They ain't talking back, okay? They eat what you give them, these bottles, okay? Like, they literally, you just got to take care of them. That's it. And you might have some sleepless nights, but baby, you're going to have even more sleepless nights when they older and grown because it's a different type of worry. But, you know, I've said this before when I heard this on a podcast. When you decide to be a parent, you also sign up to worry for the rest of your life. It's just a different kind of worry. Sometimes it's a healthy worry, but it's still, you're always going to be concerned about your child, right? If you're a good parent, you're going to always have that concern. You want to make sure they're safe and that they're okay and they're happy. That's the main thing. But knowing that you're not in control of their happiness. That's not a parent's job for their adult children. That's for them to go and find. And so that's how I have been dealing with it.
All right.
However, just so y'all know why I be joking with Chance about he don't care. Not that she moved to Houston, but when she moved 4 minutes down the road, Choice won't gone 3 days. Chance was already in her room, turning it into a room for him. He turned that into his room. That baby won't go home 3 days. I said, baby, what you talking? Yeah, I'm about to make me a golf simulator room. I said, but babe, she ain't even. He thought, oh, she ain't coming back. This is my room now, baby. If she come back here, she a guest.
That's right.
She can stay downstairs in the guest room.
That's just motivation.
So
I love her, but yeah, hey, listen.
That is why we have that joke that he didn't care. I said, my baby been gone 3 days. His box is showing up, which means you had ordered that stuff before she left.
Well, hey, when that deposit went down on that apartment, I pushed
I said, button. What's these big boxes at the door? He's talking about, oh yeah, that's for my golf simulator.
That's my golf simulator.
Where you gonna have a golf simulator room at? Oh, where Choice used to stay in. Yeah, that ain't her room no more.
She got a guest room. She always got it. We got 2 guest rooms. 2.
Quest told me one day, he said, you know what, Mom? Because I said, but do you miss Choice? This is a couple months ago. He was like, I do miss her being here some days. He says, some days it's so weird though. I look down the hallway because I used to like look in there at her, and I realized like it looks so different now. Like, and I think, man, my sister used to be in there, but now it's just like Dad's golf stuff. I said, you done took away my son's little memories.
How long we supposed to leave her stuff in there?
Hey, when I tell you, Chance said, hey, no trace left behind. You won't know the Choice was here.
Hey, look,
get
man.
all this out of here. Then call and say, I put your box of stuff in your garage. You come pick it up.
Hey, come get the stuff. He said, I'm about to get the garage remodeled. Listen.
But listen, I'll tell you this. Speaking of Quest, I'm gonna move in with him wherever he go. I'll be the, you know, if when he go to college, I'm probably he gonna take his mama with him. And
I told you.
When he go to the NBA, he told me going to the NBA, he told me he gonna get a big mansion when he in the NBA. I'm gonna have me a room over there.
He told you he didn't know That's what he just said.
No, I'm telling you and everybody else, my son said he going to the NBA.
I know what he said.
And he said he gonna have a big mansion.
But
I'm saying, when I asked him, I said, can mom come stay with you? He told me, I don't know about that. You gotta ask dad. He don't have nothing to do. This one don't have nothing to do what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have me a little room at my son's house. He ain't gonna leave his mama. He gonna want his mama. Somebody gotta cook in there for him. I'm gonna be over there. But I ain't gonna be in his business. I'm gonna just be in the house.
You want him to have a successful marriage too.
Yeah, your mama lived with us for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you remember that conversation you had, don't you? Mm-hmm.
Bad. Your mama lived with us a couple times. Mm-hmm. And we still together. Mm-hmm. She used to cook when I was pregnant. With Quest, she cooked all the meals.
So you just gonna come and help with the babies and all that, then you gonna go and get out? You gonna go, or you trying? What you trying?
Well, see, she left because our house was small.
Anytime tabs start, well,
but back, she left because we had a little house. She went on back home because Quest had got older. Quest gonna say he gonna have a big mansion. He going to NBA. He gonna be on the road a lot. I'm gonna have to be on the road with him, helping with them kids.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean we got like 20 years to think about this.
20 years, huh?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, really technically 10, because when he first go to the NBA, I'm gonna go over there too. So anyway, but yeah, that's my baby. I tried to get him just not to grow up, but he told me he couldn't do that. So now the other thing is, when you do grow up,
he growing up.
You gotta take mommy with you.
He growing up.
Yeah.
I got to keep him on some deodorant, for real. He growing up.
Hey, don't talk about my son like that. He just like his daddy.
He is. That boy is just like his daddy.
So anyway, listen, if you are out there in the world, in the parenting world, and your babies have left the nest, I sympathize with you, but it's gonna be all right.
Make you feel better if you just, improve the nest.
I will say this. I mean, we got, 7 more years for Quest before it's time for him to go to college.
Yeah.
Well, 7 more years.
Mm-hmm.
When that time comes, when he gone, for a little while, I'm probably gonna be well prepared because I'm gonna start preparing now. But the good thing would be we'll have a house to ourselves.
Yep.
We'll be able to have a long time.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with his room. He got them high ceilings. I probably can move the golf thing to his room, and then Quip's got a nice room. You know what I mean? Like I could put something else in the other room. Like I could really do like the cigar lounge thing type something. Something.
Is there any room in the house other than the kitchen and my office that you're gonna leave for me, or?
Well, what you want to do? You got your little garden outside. You got your garden.
I was.
What you want to do?
I was actually saying that we had a house to ourselves, but I don't know if I even want that.
Oh.
I thought we was going.
You can come and play some golf with me in there.
I thought maybe we could walk around naked or something.
It probably wouldn't be cool to play golf naked.
But you got a little fake grass in there.
Yeah.
You always wanted to do it outside.
Nah, that ain't
We can
good.
act like we
That ain't
outside.
Good. Nah, that's turf.
And we can be loud.
That's turf. That tear your knees up. That tear your knees up, boy.
Listen, that's it. Y'all, we thank you. I forgot her name, but it's on the card. But you know exactly who you are. We love you. We thank you for your questions.
Stop scaring people in the airport.
And for your support. Right. Don't hold up no planes on our account, honey. Everybody on the plane looking at us like, what y'all,
what y'all done did?
What we doing? But yeah, until the next time, listen, y'all go about y'all business and have the most amazing day. But even if you can't have a good one, don't you dare go messing up nobody else's. Him? Very good. Love y'all. Bye.
Peace.
Thank y'all for watching. And don't forget to click here for more episodes.
And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.
Very good.